So we've talked about the White Garden at Sissinghurst, and our next arrangement is going to be inspired by the neighbouring garden room, which is called Delos. It was created in 1935 by Peter and Harold. They went on a trip to Greece, to the island of Delos, and visited the ruins there, and they were very inspired by the place and the wildflowers that they saw, and they came back to Sissinghurst and attempted to recreate or to create a garden that evoked this place that they had been to and loved. And it didn't quite materialise, it didn't quite work. Mainly, I think, the position of the garden. It's a north-facing site. It's on heavy Wealden clay. I think it was very difficult to keep it going during World War II, and it sort of slowly disappeared over time. And then in, I think it was 2018, Troy Scott-Smith, who's the head gardener at Sissinghurst, and the garden designer Dan Pearson got together, and they set about reimagining this garden and replanted it, and I think that was completed in 2021, although there is a new project ongoing to further extend the garden. And I love Delos, I find it incredibly inspiring. It's such an interesting thing to do, to go to a place, to travel somewhere that's a completely different climate and to fall in love with the plants and want to bring that back and recreate it somewhere entirely different. So I'm really excited to have gathered all of these plants that we saw at Delos from our own garden. So the colours are really, really interesting, Delos. I think that's what I am most inspired by. There's this mix of sort of the silvery grey foliage, which we also see in the White Garden a lot, but different plants, as all of these plants are native to the Mediterranean basin. You know, there's the very sort of chartreuse, limey yellow of the euphorbia, and then these sort of dashes of red from field poppies, and then there's sort of touches of pale lavender as well.
Quite a lot of yellow and blue and sort of mauve, quite washed out. One of the entrances to Delos is through the White Garden, and I love that you come from this completely different universe and you're just transported to the Mediterranean, or to ancient Greece, really, because of all the columns and the altars which are original, which come from the island.
Yeah, the
so
3rd or
really
4th century carved altars, and the garden is quite, as opposed to the White Garden, which is very compact and it's very busy, it's very densely planted. Delos is more, it feels more, when you're walking through it, much more sporadic. You're sort of walking through the sort of gravel, because they replaced the clay soil with gravel and very poor quality topsoil, so that these plants would be happier. And it's got this sort of gritty, the crunch when you're walking through, and then it sort of drifts, isn't it? And
well, it's like mats, sort of clumps, mats
and different
lots of low
levels,
growing
stones.
Yeah. Especially yesterday, because it was a really baking hot day. You just felt like you were transported to a different place entirely than the Kent countryside.
Yeah, I think they've done it really successfully. I love it there.